Hello, guess you're all here for some Viking wisdom. They are within my own little box that I created myself. But let's not muck around. Let's get into this. That's what you're here for. I know I'd like to be kept waiting, so see what we got for you. First up, and this is kind of very relevant right now because I actually got this myself first thing this morning. When this room comes up for us, it is all about keeping in touch with everyone, keeping on those lines of communication. And I don't know about you guys, but when we come to this time of year, it's the time where we start getting all those bills through. You know, all those things we're kind of been putting off and thinking, I'll deal with that later, deal with that later. They're coming through right now. And so it comes to us to take care of them. Take care of it as soon as possible. That's what my advice to you is. Once something comes in, when you get an alert or something, don't do what old Gaz does here sometimes, and he thinks like, I'll do that later, I'll carry it on. But for the time being, I'll just potter along, doing my own little thing, and completely oblivious that this thing is every day, is getting a bit closer, like a little frog, just hopping closer and closer and closer until suddenly it's almost deadline day, and you think, oh, blimey, I ain't done that yet, and because you've got like a cloudy mind, it's been diverted by all sorts going on. So the first thing that comes to me is like when this comes up for us all in this time of year, January, February, and some of us are, getting to the end of the tax year or whatever. Some are in January, some are in April, whatever. So if that's coming up for you, deal with that. But I get like car insurance and all those sort of things as well. And the good thing is, I've kind of already taken care of it. Virtually, the road tax, I've taken care of that. My insurance, as soon as as it's ready, I'm paying it. I'm not mucking around. I'm getting it done. So my advice to you all is to get them done. Get them out of the way. Don't let them become the sort of like monster waiting on top of the hill for you. And you're thinking, oh my goodness me, I haven't done that yet. So the first thing that comes for me really about communication is get them done. But of course, when you think about it, this time of year, a lot of us may start getting sick, start getting ill because there's a lot of these bugs going around at the moment. And so my advice to you all is to check in on everyone. Just because, like, some people can't go out, they feel a little bit lonely, a little bit of a wave, a little bit of a hello. It doesn't have to be much, but just let people know you're thinking of them. I think that's quite important. And I know it sounds a bit strange, but that'll give them a little bit of a lift. And hopefully, not just if enough people do it, give them a little bit of an incentive to get better that much quicker. Because believe you me, good, with good vibes comes good energy and it can help us feel a little bit better. You're not forgotten about because if you are feeling a little bit down in the dumps, you oh, no one's blooming paying any attention to me, and I don't care who you are, we will feel like that from time to time. It's that kind of element that's coming through a little bit for me. The communication as well. It's like just watch for miscommunications as well that's out there, because like if you're anything like me, sometimes I'll just scan an email really quick or a message and I'm like fire and before you know it, you miss the whole actual point of the whole thread and you've gone off on a tangent and then you start wandering down a different pathway. So just pay attention to the little details in those emails and your responses. Sometimes just pause for a moment. Just think, have I got this right? Then send your reply, for example, and don't be afraid to instigate a few conversations as well. Because for me, this time of year, people, as I say, can be a little bit, they think, like, oh, I don't really want to do much with this blooming weather in January. It's like quite normal and natural for us to just get into that stage of thinking, no, actually, I will instigate because I feel like that's needed. That's the first one. So that's all about communication for us right now. Okay, and if we come to the next one here, which, believe it or not, I just got some notification come up there. This is so about a little bit of sort of like disruption that will come along. Um, so imagine in the old Viking age, um, they would be out and about doing their kind of like foraging, for want of a better word. And remember, these guys were in sort of like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and those parts of the world, it gets a little bit extreme with the weather, especially if they did make the hop off to Iceland, and that really is a crazy sort of like harsh environment. But when they're out and about, they could be out and they suddenly get a load of snow, and because this is actually means hail, hail is falling down. We need to kind of like get ourselves into shelter, get away from the elements of a little while. And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it, when you think about it? When I was talking about people getting bugs and stuff like that, my message for you is if you're feeling a bit under the weather, then take a time out. Take your energy away, recover, recuperate, restore yourself. Don't feel obliged that you must go into work, for example. You know, because some employers will put that on you. Say, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You just want a couple of weeks off. And yeah, you're thinking, I really want a couple of weeks off when I'm wasting my holiday feeling like this. You know, this is the other end of the stick, isn't it? The other end of the argument, which employers don't really see that. He just wants a long weekend. But the thing is, conversely, the energy will come back to the employer, won't it? If they're actually in that place of kind of like forcing people to work, and then they come in sick, they go and infect the workforce. And instead of just one person with this problem, they've got 20 people with that problem. So I would say stick to your guns. I mean, and you know, we know employees can get quite bullshit about it, or employers, sorry, can bullshit about it and say you better get to work or else. But if you are genuinely ill, I'm not talking about if you've got a sniffle, it's not that. I'm talking about if you are got sort of like really coughing and spluttering a little bit. In this day and age, it's common sense to take yourself away. And not only that, people could be vulnerable. And you don't want to blooming give them some horrible, nasty blooming virus, do you? So it's like checking in with you. So if you feel that bug, don't be afraid to say like, no, I'm really sorry. I'm gonna have to just withdraw a little while until I get better, and then I'll come back stronger. So, and sometimes our bodies need that, you know. I know it sounds a bit weird. You think, why on earth do I need this blooming bug in me? It's like testing out your immune system. It's making sure it's robust enough to deal with it. And for that to happen, sometimes we have to have these bugs come through us to give it. It's almost like our immune system gets a bit of a workout. Not that it's very pleasant. I'm saying it is. But when this comes in for us, you know, pay attention to how we're feeling because if we carry on and we try and run on empty, it's just going to get worse. You know, it's like getting worse with our health. So do check in on with the health guys. That's really what this one I feel is mostly about. And for some of us, bigger turmoils come along. I'm not going to lie, it's life, isn't it? We get tested. And so if you do find yourself struggling, you know, in those moments where the whole world's on your shoulders, don't be afraid to reach out, is what I'm getting for you. Find the right people to help you come through those tough times. You know, friends, family, professionals, whatever is right for you, because I don't want us to feel that we're alone. You know, because when we're alone, it's like another flipping stick to beat us with, isn't it? Um, so when those times come along as well, just reach out and say, hey, I'm struggling right now. Can you help us? And those who kind of are worth their weight will come and help. But we have to help. We have to ask. Don't sit there and thinking I'm waiting for the help to come because it won't. I was just telling you how it is sometimes because sometimes people go the other way. I think, well, I don't want to say anything because they might be all right on their own and I don't wish to intrude. And this is what we're like, aren't we? So don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, that is the message. And I'm talking about a direct, I'm not talking about a message on Facebook or anything. Actually ask someone, you know, reach out to them, send them a message. And when that happens, there's a good chance you'll get that result, even if it's just someone to listen to you. Or conversely, someone may reach out to you. It goes back to that first one, doesn't it? The communication. And we can help people just get through those chaotic moments. You know, we get through the chaos and we come out the other side. And when we can do that, we come up stronger, we grow, and we're ready for the next step. So that's that one there. Should we finish on a high? Come on, guys, give us a nice room to finish through. Okay, and we have got a good one. This one is all about our wealth, our mobile wealth. It's kind of things that come with this. There, I'll say, like a little bling I put, for example, here, like it's like a little sort of necklace there. You may have your jewelry and stuff like this. And I've actually been shown that actually. It's like a jewelry kind of thing. So, you got that jewelry that's hanging around, you never wear it. Why not try and wear some? And it goes for guys as well. It's not just ladies. Men, you have a big old chunky buckle ring or a nice big thick necklace or a bracelet or something. Put it on. Because let me tell you something about gold. There's a new golden age coming. Golden energy is all around us. So if we can kind of wear that kind of right material, here's me all dressed in black, I know. um, but if we can kind of get that gold element coming through, well, it's like a magnet. We attract more of that stuff. It's obvious. So, and also gold, believe it or not, is actually a master healer. So just having it on your skin or whatever is actually bringing some healing properties to you. It might only be very subtle, very, very slight, but that is some energy that's come through. Whenever I work with Reiki, for example, or Qigong for that matter, I always just visualize that energy is coming in as gold. It's a real high vibration energy. And just thinking it makes you feel good. If you want wealth, when you think of wealth, what's the first cut metal you think of? It's gold, isn't it? Silver obviously has worth, but it's nowhere near as gold. You could argue platinum. But for me, it's always gold. But let's get away from the material wealth. It's just the sunshine. You look at the sunshine, golden energy coming in all around you. Why would we not want to invite more of that energy in for our lives and making the most of our existence? So this for me is what that's all about. So yeah, I do have the bling, but mobile wealth as well could mean that we're getting around, getting your name out there. So let's imagine you're a salesperson, for example. It might be time to make some new contacts, bring in new contacts. I'm going to say this in general, actually kind of like rather than go to the same old haunts, so you keep going sort of like let's imagine you're going out on a pub, you always go down to Drovers every Saturday night down there. Well, how about the sort of like Frog and Nightgown or the Lord Nelson? See, I'm using the old Kent Road knowledge here, or up the Gin Palace, or the World Turned Upside Down. Places that you wouldn't normally haunt. I have to say, all those pubs are probably closed down now. Sign of the times. But you get the idea what I'm saying here. It is a case of kind of getting out there and meeting new people, new contacts. And when we find new contacts, new people, we open up new possibilities, new routes that we weren't aware of before. And that goes through life in general. So our mobile wealth here is not necessarily just the hackers, like, the old shrapnel in your pocket or, it can be a little bit more than that. It can actually be about the wealth of sort of like warmth of new friends, new people, new relationships. As time moves on, we're getting, for those who are single, as we kind of come towards a January into February, it's like, we're in the month of love. But we've always got to learn to love ourselves first, remember. And so if we can come from that place of warmth, meet new people, enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it and really kind of get into that bubbly, nice, fizzy energy. I try to bring that when I come to do these videos. Sometimes I can get a bit carried away. I know I can. But we bring that energy through. We give ourselves that chance of really kind of like opening up new doors, new possibilities. And my goodness me, isn't that a good thing? That for me is what this is all about. And you know what? Just because I'm feeling good, I'm feeling in that bubbly energy right now. I'll have to go for one more, shall we? So the start of 2025 for January, maybe creeping into February. Well, let's see if we can get really going to go for a big one here. Let's see what we got. Ooh, okay, I like it. Not quite what I was expecting. Um, R, believe it or not, is like the spokes of a wheel. It's like a wagon wheel turning round. So anything on wagon wheels? Aren't they some sort of blooming old chocolate that's used to be huge back in the day? It's some old sweet. That's in England. I fancy it's still the same across the world. They used to be, yeah, they used to be huge chunks of chocolate. I think a friend of mine showed on the other day. They're about the size of 50p piece now. It's pathetic. But I digress. Wagon wheel's all about travel. So traveling, and when this comes up, it's quite a big venture, quite a big departure. Now, it can literally mean, almost in the literal sense, of you actually traveling somewhere, going out far and wide, and going to new countries. This is the time when you think, I'm going to finally take that big, huge voyage to Australia, America, or China, or India, or something like that. Could certainly represent that, but don't think so literal as well. Travel can also mean something in the sort of like realms of sort of like moving on somewhere, you know, up in roots, moving to a new location. So you may, and that can come from your home. You may be in the home, you're thinking like, oh, I've been thinking of moving for ages, and you suddenly get that urge to up sticks and travel elsewhere. It's really kind of like can be that time, and for some reason I'm getting people ready for like they finished being a student at university or something, and it's almost like they're coming towards the end of that tenure, and they're thinking like, wow, it's like I'm finished now. Where do I go? And literally, I've been shown the world. So you can go anywhere, and it's sort of like a paradox of like happiness this side, sadness the other. Happiness because you're doing something exciting, but of course, when you're there, you distance yourself from those you love, because like your career, your gap year, it's going to take you on that thing. But it is about enriching your experience, and only you can decide at the end of the day if that's right for you. It's not for me or anyone else to preach to you, say, oh, you need to go and travel to the other side of the world. You might be quite happy to stay exactly where you are. Why not? Your choice, no one else's. And this is what I'm at. But you might start to get that urge. You might start to get that urge to move. And again, conversely, you could be in a career for a while and you might feel comfortable and safe, but suddenly a new opportunity comes on. And again, that opportunity might entail you and actually having to physically relocate elsewhere. And it's a big, daunting challenge. But from those daunting challenges can come the massive rewards. And this is where you get into that frame of mind, do I or don't I? I can't promise you, hand on heart, that is going to be the best thing ever. Sometimes, this is the irony, we go to those sort of like new opportunities, we go there and think, oh my God, what have I done? This is the worst thing I could have ever have done. But the whole point of that, it's not right or wrong here. It's the fact you took a chance and tried. If you don't take a chance and try, well, you're never going to know, are you? And this is how it is. We stack the odds in our favour. We try to, and then we just got to take a chance in life. So for me, when this comes up a little bit, that energy is there for movement. Don't ask whether we do it or not. So let's just have a quick recap on those rooms that we had. So we began with a little bit there of, like I said, two look like F here. This was about kind of like getting the lines of communication open. H is all about those sort of like harsh, trying times. We try to stick together a little bit. And another one that looks like letter F, that is all about mobile wealth. And we have the R room, which is about travel. As you notice, and if you look at these rooms, you can see, can't you? So this looks like F, it looks like H, but if I turn it on its side, well, you could say, oh, very, very nebulous, I could say Z, but nah, that's a H, isn't it? We have another F there, and you can clearly see that's an R. And this is where a lot of our letters come from at the end of the day. We're English, is when you think about it, is an amalgam of so many different languages at the end of the day, which is why it's so hard to learn. Um, and obviously the Norsemen came over and left their wisdom. I'm waffling on a bit now because I know many of you would have got there. So this is for the die-hard people that are still here, and I salute you if you are. Much love. But it is that kind of energy. The Norse energy. And I'll tell you something, these runes, I love working with these runes. They are so accurate. No fancy pictures, no elaborate designs. It's just a message. And I hope, as those who have got this far, that that really does mean something to you. I'm going to say farewell now. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into what may, and not necessarily will, come to pass for you at the start of this year. Much love to you all. See you soon.